We're gonna be eating in 3 hours.
We're not gonna be eating in 3 hours. Like 2.5, maybe. I'm gonna cook for my family for an entire week using only this cookbook. Stick around to see what we think.
Chef's kiss.
Mmm. I like it a lot.
Ah!
Mmm.
Oh, alright, that's good.
Huh.
Very nice. I like that.
Ooh, a jalapeno. It's saying hello.
Fix your damn recipe and make it great.
That took an hour of my life. This thing that they're not gonna eat. Great.
A lot of things taken out of your life that we don't eat, Dad.
Greetings and welcome to, or welcome back to PB with Jay. I'm the Jay. Here on the channel, we focus on all things plant-based, which involves my own recipes, cookbook reviews, and a lot of other informational things and nonsense in between. And this week, we're gonna cook exclusively from Sam Turnbull's Craving Vegan. I borrowed this book from my brother-in-law, and you know, he's got notes and stuff and things he wants to try, so I didn't want to mess with him because you don't want to mess with some dude trying out plant-based recipes, you know what I'm saying? That was weird, I don't know why I did that. I've been following Sam for a long time through her website, It Doesn't Taste Like Chicken, which if you haven't been there, it's super, super fun and awesome. She really specializes in helping transition people going from like the SAD diet over to eating more vegan foods by taking foods that people love traditionally and making a vegan version of them. So a lot of her recipe recommendations are the kind of foods that you might miss from your old ways of eating. What's fun about this book in particular is it really is all about the cravings. She's broken down the chapters into a lot of fun categories. So the chapters include a section on eggy, carby, cheesy, creamy, crunchy. Don't mind Annie, she heard cheesy and she woke up. Vegan cheesy.
Ew.
Yeah, she's less excited now. Where was I? Cheesy, creamy, crunchy, spicy, meaty, chocolatey, and sugary. One thing to keep in mind for those that are more whole food plant-based inclined, Sam is not necessarily focused on that. Her focus is on vegan comfort food. So her recipes don't necessarily skimp on things like oil, white sugar, white flour, things like that. So as you know, I'm going to be doing my own tweak on these recipes by trying to make them whole food plant-based when possible. If you're the kind of person who is watching a video like this saying, I don't want to watch some dude take recipes from a book and modify them and then still do a review on them. If that's you, totally understand that, respect that, but this is not the channel for you. Sorry. But if you're curious if these recipes can be converted to whole food plant-based, stick around to find out. Before we get into the review proper, I'd like to say hello to some of the people from our audience. Lori from Atchison, Kansas, Kathy from Templeton, Massachusetts, Margaret from New Zealand, Marianne from Plymouth, Massachusetts, Kelly from Pennsylvania, Diana from New Orleans, Almudena from Perth, Australia, Joanne from Maryville, Tennessee, Peter from Guernsey in the Channel Islands? Chanel Islands? Chanel, does that make sense? I feel stupid for even suggesting that. And Prairie Cherie from rural Iowa. Gotta say, big fan of the Prairie Cherie name. I hope I said that right. It's not Prairie Cherry, is it? There's only one R. Let me know. If you would like a shout out, say hello to us in the comments down below. Let us know where you're watching from and what you thought of this video. That said, it's a bit of a long list these days for those shout outs because there's a lot of you and you're really awesome and you say hello a lot. If you want to get to the top of that list, the best way to do so is become a member over at the Mighty Network. There's a link down in the description down below. I don't want to go on and on about it, but you know, there's a lot of great perks from early access to these videos, members only live streams, and an awesome community section where people talk and share information and recipes. And you can get it all for the price of a crappy cup of coffee a month. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do so down below and hit that like button if you're enjoying it at any point in this video to let YouTube know to share it with other people. Now, to the recipes. Tonight for dinner, I am making this tofu tikka masala. We've made stuff like this before, and as Ephraim has complained in the past that he doesn't like curry, it's kind of a curry, but it's a delicious curry. I don't need to tweak too much about this. I'm gonna lose the oil, obviously. You know, it's a good mixture of spices in here. I think that'll taste really, really lovely. I love the fresh garlic and ginger she's adding. The only thing I might want to do is after I tear the tofu into pieces, I kind of want to air fry it first because it's just going to give it better texture. I made a new word there, Bextra. Bextra. That's the new word for better texture. If you're looking for one, you're welcome. It says the curry even tastes better the next day, but I'm having it today. Wow, that's not fair. This is simple. It's really, really simple. It all comes together in the pan, except for the fact that you should probably make rice on the side. Don't make rice in the same pan. It'll be weird. The only thing she doesn't have in here that I'm totally gonna do is I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of lime on top, probably. But I'll test it first without the lime. But a little bit of lime on a curry like this, but with the acidic. The thing that's really missing from this dish is a vegetable. I mean, there's tomato sauce in it, yes, but I don't know. I think you could put more vegetables in your dishes, Sam. Nothing against the comfort food angle. Totally get it. That's how I cook. It's not that hard to bump up the nutritional profile by just throwing in a couple extra vegetables. That's all I'm saying. I'm throwing in some peas at the end. Just like I'm literally taking frozen peas and just throwing them in because the thing's already warm. It'll defrost them, thaw them, whatever you want to call it, in the pan while it's cooking.
Chef's kiss.
What do you think?
Tastes like good stuff.
You're adding, oh, you're gonna try with the lime?
Sure.
How's the lime?
Limey. Oh, alright, that's good.
What do you rate it?
A minus.
I love it.
You're a weirdo.
I'm a weirdo, why? Because I'm enjoying my food?
Cause you want ugly. What is that?
I'm expressing, she's like mimicking me, mocking me right now. Is that what I was doing? Some of us like to enjoy our food visibly. I like it. I think it needs the lime. I think it needs a little pop of citrus.
Very nice.
I just want that little, you know what I mean? It just makes
Lots
it.
of flavor.
And it's such a simple, like this is a really, really easy meal. Basically, it comes together in the time it takes the rice to cook. It's really good. And it's really a beautiful, simple, really easy weeknight recipe. I would give it, like, this is an S. Fantastic. Once you add all the extra stuff, like if you don't add the lime and you don't throw some vegetables in just for extra nutrition for me, it would be like an A. What do you give it, Mummy?
I think an A. I find coconut milk kind of a lot, like really big.
Very heavy?
Yeah.
What if, I mean, she asked for a full fat coconut. What if it was like a lighter coconut milk? Ephraim's at batting practice, but if he's in the mood when he comes home, I'll get him to review it.
1 hour later.
Ephraim came home and was too tired to do the review.
B minus.
Oh, here he comes.
B minus.
Why? Give me 2 specifics.
No, that flavor was kind of dull.
So B. Tonight for dinner, we're gonna have broccoli has never tasted so good on top of baked potatoes. That's the option. She says you could serve it on rice or potatoes or...
I think you should do
Hang on.
those potatoes you did where you smashed them down.
Yeah, well,
You bake them like that.
that's an extra step. I gotta boil them and bake. That's a little
Yeah,
extra.
but baking takes too long.
Not in the air fryer. I'm gonna start them right now, and these are smaller.
We're gonna be eating in 3 hours.
We're not gonna be eating in 3 hours. Like 2.5, maybe. Okay, so we're gonna crumble up this tofu and we're gonna add some seasonings to it, and then we're going to bake it. And while that's happening, we're going to get some onions and garlic going in the pan, and then we're gonna coat those in a little bit of flour. What's interesting is she says that if you're gonna use gluten-free flour, to use half the amount. I don't know why that is. If anyone has an idea, let me know in the comments below. I'm curious why you would use half. Kind of the sauce for it on the side, and I'm gonna use aquafaba instead of the oil, otherwise I'll keep it as is. She says 2 cups of plant-based milk such as oat or soy. I'm going to use oat milk that I'm gonna make in our Milky Plant, because all I have to do is throw in some water and throw in some oats, and it makes 2 cups exactly. If you're interested in this Milky Plant, I have a discount code. You can use it down below, in the description down below. It's down there. But this thing is so super easy to use. The machine itself is a little pricey, but the amount of money you save in the long run is super worth it, and it's just better for the environment. It's better in your pocketbook in the long run. It's just, you should just get one. So for the milk mixture, it calls for lemon pepper, which is a spice. I don't have that. I'm literally just going to put some pepper in and some zest of a lemon and hope it does something similar. That's not something I looked up. I'm just making that up. So hopefully that works. And then you add the veggies. So this broccoli sauce got pretty, it looks good. It thickened up. I was expecting it to be saucier, but this is, I don't know. Let me try the sauce. It's nice. The sauce isn't anything amazing. See how it tastes all together. When you serve this, you put your choice of starchy thing on the bottom, sauce on top of that, and then you crumble that bacony tofu stuff on top. Then you smash it in your face and see what the kids think.
Tastes like broccoli with weird stuff on it.
Define weird. What does weird taste like right now?
Goopy.
Bad weird, good weird.
Medium weird.
So like, what would you rate it? Like a B then?
B minus.
Okay. I let Annie have chickpeas because I didn't think she'd like the tofu because there's liquid smoke in it, so.
You said all there was in it was tamari.
I lied to you because you told me it was okay to lie to you to try to get you to try new things. But the chickpeas are a good option for people that don't like liquid smoke.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. We discovered something new.
It's fine. It's not too flavorful. I added a pinch of salt to the broccoli.
Yeah,
I don't find it really has much flavor on its own.
It got way saucier than I expected it to. The picture makes it look like it's a soup. So what do you rate it?
C.
Yeah.
Like I would eat it if you made it, but I would never ask you to make this.
I rated that.
They had to pay me for cheese.
Yeah, the flavor in the sauce could dial up by about 100.
You want cheesy, Eva?
I love the idea of this dish. I would remake this with my cheese sauce and just steam the broccoli, pour it over top with some lentils, like some crisp Mexican lentils.
I like the tofu.
Kind of tastes like not gonna lie.
Why do you know what that tastes like? Anyway, I'm gonna give this, it's like a C. A C is like, I'll finish it, I don't want it again. In this iteration, like the idea,
Baby grapes.
it's fine. It's just fine.
Using your fancy sauce.
But how was it before you, well obviously you didn't love it because you're changing it automatically. So like a C then?
Yeah, around.
C minus.
Okay, C's all around.
More.
Tonight for dinner, I'm making 2 things. So we'll technically show these separately. First up is the Buttermilk Fried Oyster Mushrooms. Annie's over there looking disgusted. Are you looking for the what? Crispy fried mushrooms?
It sounds good.
It does sound good. Although we're not using oil, so I don't know how crispy they'll get. Well, she calls for spray oil, which not only is gross, I'm sorry. I just find that stuff just makes things greasy and gross. But also, it's just, spray cans are bad for the environment. They just are. I'm curious if these will get crispy without it. I was tempted to make some kind of an aquafaba spray mist thing, but I didn't get around to it. So, this will be a good test. And obviously, if they don't get crispy, just know that they can if you use spray oil, but we're not doing it. Otherwise, we're gonna do this recipe pretty much as is. We're gonna make it gluten-free, obviously, for Willie. So we have to marinate the mushrooms in our buttermilk, which you make by just combining the milk and the lemon juice. Typically, I use apple cider vinegar. Then you make a breading with flour, salt, paprika, black pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. You mix that all together, and then you set up a little breading station. You go back and forth, do a double dip, and then you bake it in an oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, at an air fryer 307 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we go from there. And then you flip them halfway through. I'm trying one of these mushrooms.
Okay.
Can you hear that? It's crunchy. I'm sure it'd be crunchier with the oil. It just needs a sauce. The breading could use a little more spice for me. Oh, The paprika's kicking in. Oh, that's interesting. What would I give those? I would definitely have them again, but I'd want to keep playing with the recipe. I don't know, I think it's like an A for me. It's a good idea. I just want to play with the recipe more.
The breading doesn't really, it's not great. It's really dry.
I'd ketchup.
Floury, doesn't have much flavor.
I'd ketchup.
No, you're supposed to
I want to try it with chutney.
you're supposed to spray them in oil.
Why did it do that?
What did it do?
It's Shanghai.
Why does it smell like that?
Smell like what?
Gross stuff.
Just take a bite.
It needs a lot of work.
I like the idea of this more than I like
Yeah.
the execution.
Here you
I like
go.
the idea. It needs a
You
lot
can
of
have
work.
this.
Something wrong with the breading.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, it's gluten-free too, right?
Why you always gotta blame it on me?
Did I give it an A? I drop it down to a B. But it's also my fault because it's a gluten-free version. So maybe the other version would be an A because it would be really crispy. But it needs the sauce for sure.
You know what? We make a lot of crispy things that are gluten-free. So stop blaming it on the gluten-free.
I'm not blaming it on the gluten-free. I'm just saying
Fix your damn recipe and make it great.
It doesn't work. Here you go.
it doesn't work with ketchup. So is it an F for you?
Yeah.
That's like a C. But I'm gonna eat it because these are expensive mushrooms.
You try the nuggets? Try it on its own, and then you can add some. We got some sauces here.
Why do they taste like that?
Tastes like what?
It doesn't taste like chicken. So.
No,
The
obviously.
sauce. That's a candle.
That's a candle. Try it with the ketchup and see what you think.
It does not taste better with ketchup.
Flavor could use a little work. It's kind of weird and bitter.
But the idea is good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna work on the breading. What do you give it?
B minus.
To be honest. All right. So the other meal we're making for our dinner tonight is the creamy noodle soup. So if you don't have a high-powered blender, you might want to soak some cashews. I did that anyway. It just makes them extra creamy. Otherwise, soak some cashews in advance, and then blend them up with some of the broth. And then everything else just goes into the pot. You start with your vegetables, you add some flour to it to make a bit of a roux, and then you add in your broth and your seasonings and whatnot. Because we're using gluten-free, I'm going to keep the pasta separate and we'll just add that in afterwards. Otherwise, I find it can get a little gloopy. So if you're using non-gluten-free pasta, obviously you can put it inside. Both these seem simple, so let's see if I can get them done in dinner time. Even if I take 4 hours, it'll be done in time for dinner because dinner's not served till I'm done, right? That's the mentality I'm going with. Despite celery being on my grocery list that Willie was supposed to pick up, celery was not picked up. Willie is not home right now to defend herself, so I'm gonna leave it at that, but just know that I know celery is supposed to be in this soup. I would love to have celery in the soup. Unfortunately, celery will not be in the soup. I can't imagine it's gonna have a great impact on the flavor, but it's too bad because it would have had nice to have a little extra vegetable in here, but we will survive. I have, you know what I have? I have a little bit of leek left over from something else. It's not a lot, it's a little. I throw that in. All right, soup. Maybe bring the salt. A little bland. Ephraim's gonna call this bland. Hi, Willie. That helped. I like this better than a lot of the chicken noodle soups I've had.
It doesn't look like chicken noodle.
No, it's just called creamy noodle.
I like the looks of it because it looks unique. It looks like different than we normally have the same looking soups.
Yeah, these are very tomato based, which Willie doesn't love.
I think so. I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like a B. What would you give it?
An A.
An A. Yeah, it's a B for me.
You know, it'd be really great
What?
if the chef who made it peeled the carrots.
You know what? It'd be great if I could find the peeler that didn't suck because I couldn't and I was getting frustrated. And I was like, you know what? I don't mind a little bit of texture as long as I wash it.
That's a step in the right direction.
I washed it. All right, so anything so the soup.
Scary.
It's scary?
It's good.
Yeah? Give me what makes it good.
The broth tastes good, and I like the noodles. That adds nice texture. A minus.
It just looks like it's pure cornstarch and water.
How's it taste though?
It tastes all right. Probably put more flavor in the broth.
Yeah, it's a bit bland.
It's bland. I give it a B.
Well, not bad.
The next day.
It's Jeremy from the future. This soup gets better every day. This is like my second day of having it for leftovers, and it's really, really solid and good. For our dessert tonight, I'm gonna make this super simple banana pudding. So even though this is super simple and it comes together very quickly, Sam tells you that you should make it 3 hours in advance or overnight. So super simple in advance. What am I gonna change? White sugar is gonna become corn sugar, coconut sugar. There we go. I've had my coffee. I don't have any excuse for my silly words. So white sugar is gonna become coconut sugar. That might affect the color. I'm gonna be okay with that. Cornstarch stay the same. My plant milk, I'm gonna use oat. I'm gonna make a new batch in the planty milk, which makes exactly 2 cups, which is what we need. Salt, turmeric, all good. So, she has you whisk in vegan butter at the end. I know we stick to whole food plant-based around here, and I try to show you swaps. I was racking my brain with what to swap for this. Because I think it's purely for that fatty flavor, I think I'm gonna include it. I have aquafaba. It's not gonna do what this is doing. It wants a little fattiness. I'm gonna allow it. If you have any thoughts on what you would put in there for a whole food plant-based substitute as opposed to the butter, let me know, because I'm just gonna kind of give in this case because it's dessert. And it sticks close to the recipe too. So really the only thing I'm gonna swap out here is the white sugar for corn. I keep on saying corn because there's cornstarch in this recipe too. Anyway, you mix it all together, pour it into some ramekins. Ooh, that's got a nice flavor. It's not too sweet. And I gotta say, as much as I hate to admit it, that the little bit of vegan butter adds this nice little fattiness to it. It's gonna add 50 calories to each serving. So, it's a treat. All right, now we're gonna cool those, although it's steamy. I kind of wanna let it stop steaming before I put it in the fridge, otherwise I'm gonna get like a little water skim on top of it. So we'll let that cool, put it in the fridge. Then later on we'll put it into individual little things.
Eventually.
So this is why you put the pudding in individual cups in the fridge, because otherwise it solidifies together. And then when you put it in cups, it looks god awful. I'm sure it's gonna taste good.
Try a little bit. That's good.
I'm gonna try to cream this up again, but I don't know how well I'm gonna do.
Oh, I know what you could do. You could use like the immersion blender. That would creamify it.
Creamify it?
Creamify
I don't know
it.
if that'll work. What do you think?
Try it.
What?
No
Just
idea
adding
is a
some
bad
milk.
idea. That looks horrible right now. Tastes like pudding. It's good. It's sweet. It's creamy. It's not that much banana-y.
But the pudding itself isn't banana.
Oh.
But have it with banana. Have it. See how I put banana on top?
Alright,
Maybe
alright,
put that in a spoon and eat it.
Of course, now it's gonna taste like bananas because they ate it with bananas.
Well, that's the point.
But it's good.
What do you rate it?
An S plus.
Mmm.
All right, pudding's good. Good sweet, maybe a little bit more sweet, I would say.
Could be a little sweeter.
The banana on it sounds good. Tastes like banana. Ooh, pretty good.
What is it? What's your rating?
Bland.
It's not bland. What is it?
I give it an A. I had Butterfingers today.
Apparently.
It's so good. I don't know how you did it. It tastes like real pudding
Yeah, it does.
from my childhood. Yeah, it tastes like Jell-O pudding.
So is that like a full-on S then?
Yeah.
All right.
Make it again.
Oh man, this tastes exactly like the pudding from my childhood. Oh wow. It did call for a little vegan butter, and I couldn't think of a swap, so I actually put it in.
Yeah.
But it was only like 2 tablespoons,
Good.
so I figured it was worth it.
Good kitten.
It's so good.
Good kitten.
Maybe I'll work on a swap without the butter. This is
Okay.
delicious.
Good kitten.
I did good. This is an S. S all the way.
I even putting on a can can be better.
S plus, says Annie. Tonight for dinner, I'm making potachos. It's basically what you think. It's like instead of using, tortilla chips, you're slicing potatoes and making nachos on top of them. So this is interesting. It says it takes an hour and a half, which feels like way too much time to make nachos. So we've got to make a tofu crumble with a bunch of spices and some stuff. So you're gonna bake that for, I think, like half an hour, flipping it in between. So the most complicated thing with this is it's just a lot of steps. You know, you've got to slice the potatoes and then let them soak in the water for about 20 minutes so they get nice and crispy. Make sure you pat them dry in between though. You gotta bake those. So she calls for using spray oil in these potatoes. I have some alfalfa, so I just spread a little over top. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but it can't hurt, and I don't wanna use spray oil. Got to make a roasted red pepper cheese sauce that's in the book, which means literally roasting it on your oven and then wrapping it in tin foil so that it can like steam inside. And then for this roasted red pepper cheese sauce, you know, once we've got this pepper finished roasting, we're gonna leave it in this tin foil. Like 15, ooh, it's hot, like a hot potato. We're gonna leave that in there for a little bit. And then we're just gonna blend everything together for that into a blender. And then put it off to the side so that we can pour it on over top at the end. Again, this is not a complicated meal. It's just there's a lot of moving parts to it. You gotta kind of like, you know, you gotta pay attention when you're doing it. And then toppings, so you can cilantro, tomato, I got all those things, guacamole. There's a lot of things going on here. Potacho. So we're gonna take all these toppings and just put them on the table, and people can kind of like take a chunk of these potachos and then just load them up however they want to.
Jalapenos give a nice little kick.
Yeah, how's the rest of it?
Pretty good. Tasty.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like the sauce?
What is the sauce?
It's like a red pepper sauce.
I like nachos, but good.
Yeah. What would you give it?
An S.
Nice. To your plate. Ooh.
Oh, it's good.
Tofu's too plain? Or maybe just more of it.
Spice it up.
I think you could just double the sauce, and so it's really thicker on the tofu too.
Really good.
Some stuff.
Yeah. I think the tofu.
Plus.
What's that?
S plus.
Yeah?
The toppings, the potatoes, and the tofu, and the sauce.
It all just comes together really nice.
It's good.
Mmm.
Tastes like nachos, but without the fried chips, which is probably good because I really like fried chips. So it's probably good to have an alternative.
The thing about this,
Real food.
it was time consuming.
Yeah.
It's also really versatile. Oh my god. Like, ooh, a jalapeno. You're saying hello. Hello, Napino. I love this. This is an S for me. Not you.
Yeah, it's really good.
But it's just, if you're gonna, this is like a weekend meal. It says in the book it takes an hour and a half, and then it's not lying.
Why would you choose that for a weeknight?
It looked awesome. And it was.
That is awesome.
Oh, thanks, Annie. Because I'm hardcore.
You were a little stressed out.
Oh, good stuff. Tonight for dinner, I'm going to make the Crunch Wrap Superior. So this is a take on Taco Bell's Crunch Wrap Supreme, but vegan style. I'm really excited about this because I've always wanted to make like a walnut taco meat. And I've done that a little bit for my shepherd's pie recipe that I have on the website. Link down below. But this is going to be fun and interesting, and it uses sun-dried tomatoes, which I'm excited about. Yeah, I think this is going to be good. We're just not going to tell Annie there's walnuts in it because she'll tell us that she won't eat it.
She looks at the recipe and said gross.
She already looked at it?
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, whatever. She can find her own dinner. Well, I'm going to make it either way. So this one's not super complicated. The walnut meat looks like it comes together in a food processor in just like a couple minutes. It says you can make this in 16 minutes. It's a little bit of a lie because you also have to make the queso sauce they recommend, which takes a little bit of time on top of that. So the queso sauce, it doesn't look hard at all. You just throw everything into a blender. You got to pre-soak cashews, potentially. Here's my issue with this book. I mean, I'll talk about all this in the wrap-up. But this is like the third or fourth recipe I've had where you need to use a cup of cashews. It just feels like she just kind of goes back to the well with the same tricks over and over again. And I get you get the fattiness from the cashews, but you could use silken tofu in there. You'll get a fatty vibe from that, and it'll be a little healthier too. I just wish that in some of her sauces she switched it up a little bit and it was a little more versatile, because it's just like, it feels like the same shtick over and over again in some of these recipes. Same as with the tofu.
Ooh, that's lovely. And put that in a jar. And then if we don't use it all, I'll have some for another time.
The other thing I'm doing for this that I'm excited about is I'm gonna make lentil wraps for Wooly, which is something I've never done before. So I rinsed some lentils already, and I've been soaking them in vegetable broth for 4 hours. And then we're just gonna blend those up and then pour them into a nonstick pan. I'm gonna use a little bit of oil because I don't trust my frying pan. So this isn't hard, it's just kind of time management again. It's a bunch of pieces that come together.
Oh, now you were looking at me and you were going to say something to me because I couldn't see the camera. I was confusing.
Hi Annie, sorry about that. Are you good now?
No.
Yeah.
You stole my pretzel.
Her.
You know when you always have like a bowl of pretzels and then I'm like, hey Dad, can you have one? You're like, but I got the perfect amount of pretzels out.
Yeah, that's called being married to your mom.
That's what I did.
Yep, yeah. Get used to it, kiddo. That's life.
That's what you did.
Here's the trick in life. Always.
You are a hypocrite.
So here's the way to move forward, and this is what I've done now. Take a little extra, knowing that someone might want to share with you. You don't. I just gave you a great life lesson, and you walked away. I'm so curious about this. Huh. I mean, okay, I can kind of see it. I think mixed in with everything else, it'll work. It's interesting. It's not meaty at all, but it's fatty. Flavor's good. I don't want to keep on mixing it. Like, some of the tomato's not quite mixed in. But if you over pulse it, I think that's a problem too. So I'm gonna leave it like this. It's got a nice flavor. I think mixed in with everything else, it's gonna be great. That's how the lentil one turned out. It's more like a bowl now. Sorry, Willie.
It happens.
Is it crunchy?
Probably, well, there's probably some crunch in there, but it's not mixed in.
What is this? That stuff.
It's the meaty section.
What's it made out of?
What is? Do you like the flavor? Don't worry what it's made out
I
of.
haven't taken a bite out of it yet.
Take a bite. Bite it. Eve, what do you think? Yeah? This is your kind of meal?
Because,
Yeah?
I don't know, whatever the sauce is, it's pretty good. I like the sauce.
Are there sun-dried tomatoes?
What's that?
Are there sun-dried tomatoes?
Yeah, it's part of the meat.
It's okay.
Yeah?
I'll give it an A.
Oh, wow.
Meat could improve.
Okay.
Too sour.
Annie, what do you rate it?
F.
An F? Well, F means you're not going to eat it. You're still eating it.
But it's an F. I wouldn't eat it if you didn't spend an hour or more on it.
Well, it was mostly because the mummy's lentil wrap. It took me time. What do you think?
It's good, yeah. The whatever the meat is like it's kind of a strange
Can I change my mark?
flavor. I'm not sure what it is.
Can I change my mark?
I think as an idea for a meal, it's an S. But I agree that the sun-dried tomatoes are not a great,
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
not a great choice. I would change the meat. And if you do that,
Ooh, Beyond Burger.
well, for us, a Beyond Burger would be good, sure. If you want to go really treaty. Or for you, like tofu, like crumbled tofu. Like a meaty crumbled tofu. So the meat aspect is not my favorite part, which is really what the recipe is. The rest of this is just, the queso is good. The queso is like an S.
It's fun. I'll give it a B.
I give it a B. The idea is an S, but the meat as it is, it's not quite working for me.
I was gonna give it an A, but then I tasted more of the meat and then more of it, so it's an F. Really weird.
Yeah, me too.
That took an hour of my life. This thing that they're not going to eat. Great.
lot of things taken out of your life that we don't eat, Dad.
For dessert tonight, I'm gonna make chocolate peanut butter bombs. I'm not gonna change anything about this recipe, actually. I'm a little shocked that for the chocolate aspect, she hasn't asked to include coconut oil. Good job, Sam. I've made a version of this already. I have these like 2-minute turtles I like, where I take dates and I put chocolate chips in them and then I microwave them and then they get melty and then I shove a pecan inside them. And it's kind of like, if you're from Canada, you know, we got these little chocolatey treats called turtles that have caramel in them. This is kind of like that, but like almost remixed. So you take a medjool date, which I don't have. I'm using just like those smaller dates. So I'm gonna make smaller versions of this, but it's all the same idea. And you kind of split them down the middle, put some peanut butter inside, smush them back together, melt some chocolate and drizzle it over top, and then sprinkle some chopped peanuts on top of that. Stick them in the fridge or the freezer for the chocolate to set, and that's it.
I like ours better.
Yeah?
It's good.
What's that?
It's good. It's sort of like a peanut butter cup, but chewy. And chewier.
What would you give it?
I would give it an A.
I'll go to B.
Yeah?
Ours are better.
What makes ours better
The pecans just give it a better flavor.
than the peanut? Cool. Thank you.
And I like how ours are hot
Right.
when you pull them out.
Makes the date a little squishier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These are like cold.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mom, can I pick one for you? I see a good one.
They're really good. Hey, Willie.
Yeah, it's good. Peanut butter. You like chocolate and peanut butter? Good treat for you.
I mean, it's pretty healthy compared to a lot of desserts. Chocolate on top, but it's pretty simple to make. I would give this like a B.
Yeah.
This dinner, Rufus, is it good? So while Rufus eats his dinner, I'm gonna make a mung bean scrambled egg. Is that what it's called? Mung bean veggie scramble. There we go. It's meant to be like a just egg substitute, which is a substitute for, you know, real egg. So this is pretty simple. The only thing you have to do is in advance, you have to soak the split mung beans overnight or a couple hours before. I soaked mine in the morning because my son and I are gonna have this for dinner. Apologies in advance, no Wooly or Annie review on this one. So after you let it soak, you rinse it out, put it in the blender with a little bit of plant milk and a bunch of spices, and you blend it up. And then you cook up whatever veggies you want. If you want to add veggies, you don't have to. And then apparently you let it sit, kind of like an omelet. So you let it sit in the pan and start to cook on the one side. And when you flip it, that's when you start breaking it up and you're turning it into more like a veggie scramble. So don't start whisking it around apparently as soon as you put it in. Let it start to cook in a solid form, flip it over. Obviously, use the most non-stick pan you've got. So this is not what I expected it to be. I think I have a lot more vegetable in here than probably most people would try to put in, so it's really taking over and making it all clean together, which it's supposed to do. Also, I'm gonna be honest, when I smelt it before I put it in the pan, it did not smell good. That mung bean flavor was very strong. I don't know. I mean, I think this is gonna be fine. It looks eggy-ish. My pan did not be a non-stick pan. It was very unkind to me. We will be having words later. Let's see what the boy and I think. Dinner! Eat Saturday! All right, here we go. Taking a big eggy bit. Okay, that's pretty good. The texture's really nice. I just want to work on the flavoring a little bit. Like, I don't think I would add nooch in there. Yeah, I want to add some like hot sauce to it and stuff, but you know, just treat it like I would eggs. But I don't know, like for a plant-based egg, just knowing that I could keep playing with the flavors, but as a base, it's like, it's excellent. Ephraim! So come try this. It looks like what? That's a weird way of saying thanks for making dinner, Dad.
What even is it?
It is mung bean, made to be like an egg scramble.
Looks like chickpeas. It's all right.
It's not bad, right? Like, I would want to put some ketchup on this or some hot sauce or something.
It doesn't really taste like egg.
Well, you could add more. It added, as for Namak. Namak, I know I say that wrong a lot. I hear you in the comments. I'm working on it.
Kumanique.
Yeah, that's how you say it. You could probably put more of the black salt in there, the Namak, right? But hot sauce or something. But that's like a good base, right? In terms of like the texture and what that does. Now it's just playing with flavor.
Yeah.
So in that case, what would you give it?
B+ has a weird aftertaste, though. Kind of
Yeah,
weird.
I'd say as this recipe itself is like a B+. But I know I could take this and flavor the heck out of it and get it up there to what I would want it to taste like egg-wise. So that would be an S for me. I agree. This is a B for both of us.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a bonus review of a recipe because I didn't make this. My brother-in-law Andrew made it.
Hey.
And you follow the directions to the ish.
No.
You do what I do.
No.
Because
No.
you're a human being who cooks in the kitchen.
Well, we didn't have some of the ingredients, so I had to wing it.
But that happens too. People live in food deserts. So it's like keep the idea of the recipe together. But you probably put in way more oil than I would have.
I put in what the recipe called for because I doubled it. So
Right.
yeah.
So like 3 cups.
First time making it too, I tried to stick to the recipe as much as possible.
Yeah.
The first time, and then make my adjustments after that.
Okay. So I'll take a video of it here and put up the ingredients beside it in case you're curious. But you don't get all the usual cooking shots and stuff. Sorry, it happens.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a little peppery, a little sweet, a little sour.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mean stir fry, and I like stir fry. I like it a lot.
So like an S then?
Yeah.
That's good. A then.
An AA?
Just an A.
No.
Hate it.
You hate it.
Obvious.
I'm having noodles.
So that's an F. That's an F from Hammy. Andrew.
It's a B. It's a B. I want to work on the sauce. If I was going to make this again, I want to try some different things with the sauce.
What would you do differently?
I think I'd actually try it with hoisin sauce next time to see if that works, or I'd use the substitution that I use in Japan, which is just katsu sauce, and then just vary the rest the ratio of that and soy sauce.
Oh no. It's kind of. I'll give it an A.
That's not bad.
Sauce. I think
It's a bit salty.
I think it's the miso.
No.
It's a little saltier than I would like. I like it. Like all the elements are there. Like it's the sauce. It's the sauce, which is kind of what the main thing is. Is not quite there. It's good. It's just not. I don't know. There's something about it feels like it just feels heavier than.
Guys are making me change my vote.
I'm wondering if we.
It's a B for me. We're at the farm, and for dinner tonight, we're making dessert. I'm sorry. We're having chocolate chip cookie bars, but we should probably save them for dessert. So this is, her desserts are, they're very desserty and treaty. So get ready for the swaps. So I swapped out the butter with applesauce, and I just reduced the sugar in half and used coconut sugar. Otherwise it's the same. And I did find when I'm mixing it, it was a little dry, so I added probably about a 1/4 cup more milk. Which, I still don't know the consistency it was supposed to be, so I just kind of guessed it. And we're gonna see. Are they good? Is it chewy?
Tastes like a real brownie.
And white chocolate.
It tastes like a real brownie?
You've had it before.
An S plus.
B+.
Can you give me any feedback? Any?
Taste. Has a weird taste.
It's awesome.
It smells doughy.
Yeah.
So it lives up to the idea that it's half cookie, half cake. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Keep in mind it's also gluten-free, right? So I've changed the flour.
Yeah. To echo your son, it tastes like it's gluten-free.
Yeah.
Oh, not bad. I will eat another one.
That's at least an A.
It's a B.
What, a B? Why is that?
It's a little
I got an update with ice cream. It's an A+. It's like perfect sort of texture, and the ice cream kind of covers up
That's
the
not
sort of.
fine.
I think the ice cream, the sweetness of the ice cream covers up some of the the sort of gluten-free flour taste, and then then the other tastes like the sort of cookie dough, chocolate taste comes through a lot better.
Nice.
So yeah, I think with ice cream it's an A+.
It's fine.
It's fine?
Yeah.
It's meh now. Is it fine or is it meh?
It's mighty fine.
Or you wouldn't want this again?
No.
But will you finish eating it?
Yeah.
I think I see. With the ice, Andrew was right. With the ice cream, it's really, really great. But I think it's mostly because it's like extra chocolate. It's okay. Yeah, and I think Sam's version would be much better. But this is probably like a B or a C, just because I think it's only okay. We've had better gluten-free vegan desserts. So what did we think of Craving Vegan? So this book is designed for the sort of people who want to eat the way they ate before going plant-based or vegan. It's not all that health-focused, really. So if you're not comfortable doing swaps the way that I am, it might be a little trickier for those of you that are on the whole food plant-based track. And if I'm honest, in a couple of the recipes that we tried, I found the flavor lacking a little bit. I'm just really used to Sam's recipes packing a big punch. And again, we didn't try the entire book or every single category in here, but some of them were a little disappointing. Also, just generally speaking, I thought there's lots of opportunities in many of these recipes to up the nutritional profile without really changing the dish all that much. Just add some more vegetables. That's what I would say for a lot of these recipes. Throw in some peas, throw in some broccoli, whatever it is that would match the recipe, do that. Or have some on the side, your call. Generally speaking, I found a lot of the recipes, or at least the ones we tried, to be pretty high in fat. So if weight loss is your goal, this is not the book for you. I found a lot of the ingredients to be really repetitive, so that might be a good thing for you, might be a bad thing for you. A lot of reliance on tofu. So if you're the kind of person who's like, I'd love to know what to do with tofu and the kind of things you can do, this is probably a great book to really test out your tofu skills. But it was a lot to eat all in 1 week. We like a bit more of a balance around here. I just would have loved to see a couple examples, like in some of her Mexican dishes, to use, lentils as opposed to the tofu sometimes. Although bonus points for that mung bean scramble. That said, I've seen that recipe in other places, so it's not exactly a wholly original idea. A lot of her sauces relied on cashews, which I agree, cashews are a really neutral flavor that give you a nice fatty base that you can add any other flavors to. It just felt really repetitive eating a lot in a short period of time. So I know I sound like I'm complaining here. I didn't hate this book by any means. All I'm saying is this is not the kind of book you want to eat from every night of the week. If you are looking for the kind of book that can help you eat a little treaty from time to time and have some of those old staples from your old life, but in a vegan or plant-based way, this book is probably a really solid buy for you. If you're on the other end of the spectrum and you're trying to eat whole food plant-based and you're not comfortable doing swaps or being a little bit more creative and figuring stuff out, this is probably a bypass. And if you're somewhere in between, it's a very solid borrow from your library. If you are gonna buy it, please consider using the link down below to help support the channel. Other ways to support the channel are checking out our merch store for nice swag like this or joining us over on the Mighty Network. All of that stuff is in the description down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and like this video to let YouTube know to send it to other people, and check out this video next because YouTube's been bugging me. They said, look, this person wants to watch this video next. Why are you stopping them? And I said, YouTube, I'm not stopping them. I'm just over here. We're just having fun. I'm doing my thing. Stop bugging me. That was the weirdest outro I've ever done. I'm sorry. I apologize.